Emotional attachment doesn't live in the heart, it lives in the mind. It shapes who we miss, what we tolerate, and why letting go feels harder than holding on. These psychology insights reveal how attachment silently controls thoughts, emotions, and decisions. Stay until the end, because understanding attachment can change how you love, connect, and heal. Emotional attachment forms when the mind associates safety with a specific person, not necessarily happiness. The brain can become attached to emotional familiarity even when it causes discomfort. Attachment strengthens when emotions are shared during vulnerable moments. The mind resists letting go because attachment feels like emotional survival. People often confuse emotional attachment with emotional compatibility. The brain releases calming chemicals when attachment figures are near, reinforcing emotional bonds. Emotional attachment can persist long after emotional fulfillment disappears. The mind prioritizes connection over logic when attachment is strong. Attachment grows deeper when fear of loss outweighs fear of pain. The brain remembers emotional intensity more vividly than emotional stability. People can feel attached to someone even when they feel unhappy around them. Emotional attachment is reinforced through repeated emotional patterns, not conscious choice. The mind protects attachment by minimizing negative experiences. Attachment can make absence feel physically uncomfortable. The brain interprets emotional distance as a threat when attachment is strong. People stay emotionally attached because the mind fears emotional emptiness. Attachment bonds strengthen during periods of stress or uncertainty. The brain associates attachment with identity, not just emotion. Emotional attachment can make people tolerate behaviors they would otherwise reject. The mind often confuses emotional dependency with love. Attachment increases when emotional reassurance becomes unpredictable. The brain releases stress hormones when attachment feels threatened. Emotional attachment can create fear-based loyalty. The mind clings harder when attachment feels unstable. People often become attached to how someone made them feel at their best. Attachment can turn emotional memories into emotional anchors. The brain resists change when attachment feels familiar. Emotional attachment grows when personal boundaries weaken. The mind avoids detachment because it feels like emotional loss. Attachment can override self-preservation instincts. People often stay attached because hope feels safer than acceptance. The brain holds on to attachment to avoid emotional uncertainty. Emotional attachment intensifies when validation is inconsistent. The mind bonds deeply to those connected to emotional milestones. Attachment can make emotional distance feel like rejection. The brain associates attachment with comfort, even in discomfort. Emotional attachment can slow emotional healing. The mind strengthens attachment through repeated emotional focus. People can feel emotionally attached even when trust is broken.
Attachment forms faster when emotions are intense, not stable. The brain struggles to detach from emotional routines. Emotional attachment influences decision-making without awareness. The mind often chooses attachment over peace.
Emotional attachment makes the mind replay memories even when the relationship no longer exists. The brain holds on to attachment because it associates it with emotional security. People feel attached not only to individuals, but to emotional roles they once played. Attachment can make silence feel louder than conflict. The mind fears detachment because it feels like losing a part of the self. Emotional attachment grows when someone becomes part of daily emotional routines. The brain resists endings because attachment disrupts emotional stability. People often remain attached to the version of someone they hoped would return. Attachment can cause emotional pain to feel familiar rather than alarming. The mind can cling to attachment when identity becomes emotionally intertwined. Emotional attachment strengthens when emotional needs are unmet elsewhere. The brain releases stress responses when attachment bonds are threatened. People feel attached because detachment requires emotional courage. Attachment can distort memory, highlighting good moments and minimizing harm. The mind clings to attachment when identity becomes emotionally intertwined. Emotional attachment increases when reassurance becomes inconsistent. The brain struggles to process attachment loss as temporary. People often mistake emotional intensity for emotional depth. Attachment can turn emotional absence into emotional obsession. The mind associates attachment with belonging, not fulfillment. Emotional attachment makes letting go feel like emotional failure. The brain avoids detachment because it triggers emotional uncertainty. People stay attached because familiarity feels safer than change. Attachment can make people fear independence. The mind reinforces attachment through constant emotional recall. Emotional attachment can persist even without communication. The brain associates attachment with comfort, even in discomfort. People remain attached to emotional potential, not emotional reality. Attachment weakens emotional boundaries over time. The mind avoids detachment by creating emotional justifications. Emotional attachment grows stronger when closure is absent. The brain holds on to attachment as a way to avoid loneliness. People can feel attached even when emotional connection fades. Attachment can cause emotional dependency without awareness. The mind often resists detachment until emotional exhaustion appears. Emotional attachment can override self-respect. The brain strengthens attachment through emotional repetition. People feel attached because detachment feels like emotional abandonment. Attachment bonds deepen when emotional validation is rare. The mind delays healing when attachment remains active. Emotional attachment can feel permanent even when relationships are temporary. The brain remembers attachment more strongly than pain. People release attachment only when emotional clarity replaces hope. The mind chooses attachment when peace feels unfamiliar.
Emotional attachment is not weakness. It is the mind's way of protecting connection. But when attachment is unconscious, it can quietly control choices, blur boundaries, and delay healing. Understanding how attachment works doesn't force you to leave, stay, or change. It gives you awareness, and awareness restores control. The human mind doesn't let go because it's broken. It holds on because connection once felt safe, meaningful, or necessary. If this video helped you recognize patterns in yourself or others, let that understanding be gentle, not judgmental. Healing doesn't start with rejection. It starts with clarity. Thank you for staying until the end. If this content brought value, support the channel by liking, subscribing, and sharing it with someone who seeks emotional insight and self-awareness. Your emotions are messages, not enemies. Learn to listen, and you begin to heal.